Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Real CFO Project. Again, Chad Brown, CPA. We're doing another solo episode today. I think this one's going to hit home with a lot of you, both from an entrepreneurial standpoint and how it impacts our family, our faith, our fitness, our finances. And I'm excited to share some stories and go through this with you. So you ever find yourself going 110 miles an hour towards that vision that you set for your business, and then you realize at some point you're going 110 miles an hour, but you don't know where you're going. You're kind of in the weeds or in the forest and wandering around at 110 miles an hour with no destination in sight, right? That's common with growth. If you're doing the right things and you're going after your vision, you're going to reach that point at some time. So that's okay. Uh, you find yourself getting into the weeds, drifting off the path because you're moving too fast, right? You're believing that the more I work, the harder I grind, the faster I go, the better we'll be, and I'll make more progress. Well, in this episode, I really want to get you to think, right? I don't want you to necessarily slow down for the sake of slowing down, but I want you to think more about how slowing down actually makes you go faster, and how transparency, vulnerability, and realignment are the keys to becoming the real CFO of your life, right? Uh, this season where we find ourselves just grinding 110 and we're almost like in a fog. I was driving to work today. Uh, it was foggy. I had an intersection. I wasn't quite sure if anything was coming. I had to roll down the windows. It's winter. And make sure I didn't see any headlights going and go, right? But I had to slow down. I had to take a minute because I wasn't following the normal path or the path that I do consistently every day. So every business owner is going to go through these points of shakeups, right? If you're adding more clients, you're adding more services, you're hiring more people, right? It's inevitable if you're doing the right things, if you're in a growth stage. So every business owner hits this phase where things feel unstoppable, where you can't slow down. We push harder, go faster, grind more, thinking acceleration will save us. But speed in and of itself without any direction is going to cause us to drift. And we might be doing work and accomplishing things, and we feel like we're productive, but we're not productive towards that vision that we ultimately have for our business and how that's going to impact the lives of the folks we employ, the folks that we lead, our family, our wives, our children, those sorts of things. So momentum, just remember this, momentum is great. We have to have momentum, and you never want to put a roadblock in front of it. But momentum without alignment doesn't get you there faster. It gets you lost quicker, and it takes more time to sort things out, to get the weeds off of it, to get out of the brush pile, to ultimately get back on track. So I want to talk to you today really about the power of slowing down. Um, it's not easy. It really isn't. I'm going through this stage right now in my business, in my life, and slowing down takes discipline, right? Anything worth pursuing, it's going to take discipline. Stopping long enough to check the compass. And that's regularly, that's intentionally checking, how am I? Where am I? What direction am I going? Um, Reconnecting with that original vision that you had, right? I always tell people, we have this vision out there um, that it might be 3 years away. It might be 1 year away. It might be 5 years away. Heck, it might be 10 years away. And when we start, we kind of roadmap, we work backwards. We work backwards to build that plan to get there, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterly, yearly actions that we need to take, and benchmarks. But we lose sight of that when we're going too fast, and then all we see is this mirage, this universe where our vision's way out there, but there's all these moving parts, and we're consumed by it, and it creates chaos, it creates anxiety, and then we move faster because we think we just got to go to get through it. So slowing down is powerful, right? You slow down, you review the vision, you look at the vision, you clarify what actually matters, you look at the that original vision, and you reconnect with it, and you look at your plan, and to get there, and you adjust, you pivot, you make corrections, but you have to slow down to do that. So slowing down causes you to helps you, gives you time to review things, realign yourself, your efforts and everything, and your team, your family towards that vision, and then you re-engage. So one of the things that it not only takes discipline to do, but you have to be transparent and vulnerable, right? Especially with yourself, right? I'm going to say that again. You have to be transparent. You have to be vulnerable. In a sense, you have to own where you're at and admit that you are drifting. Admit that you are overloaded. Admit you haven't checked on the vision and kept that vision as the focal point and the action plan to get there as the focal point. You've drifted. You have to be vulnerable, transparent with your team. Admit mistakes. Show where you're going wrong, where you've gone off path, where you weren't leading them properly. You know, people don't need perfect leaders. They want honest leadership. They want honesty and vulnerability from their leaders. Vulnerability creates permissions for others to be honest with you, with the team. It creates just a whole cascade effect if we're vulnerable, transparent, and take ownership of our own shortcomings and where we're at and where we might have made a mistake. So I encourage you, if you're not doing that, you're trying to be that perfect leader, switch that up, change it, become vulnerable, transparent, say, I need your help. We're off. I'm all over the place. I need your help. Come together as a unit. Share those stories. You have to also do it with your family, those you trust, your community. Let them know where you're at. Your clients. Heck, I've had conversations this last few weeks because I've kind of let the ball slip with some clients and commitments that we made to deliver at certain times. And the reason that is because we weren't on point. We weren't on task. We were moving too fast. We were throwing too many irons in the fire to deliver what we needed to do. I was fully transparent, honest, made it right with them. It made me feel, okay, I got that weight off my shoulders, but they appreciated that. Now, how do we fix it, right? How do we fix it? So in our framework that I try to operate by, and that we try to teach others to operate by, is, you know, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a human, you have to be the real CFO. The real CFO is not finance. It encompasses a whole lot of things, right? It's the chief faith officer. Where's your spiritual values and your compass pointing, right? So when you slow down and say, my vision for my business and all the lines that come out of that, all the impact that vision and your purpose has, who does that attach to? A lot of people, employees, their families, families, your family, your community, right? So when you pull back and say, hey, where am I at? If I'm just looking at business, where's my faith? Where's my spiritual well-being? Am I taking care of that? Whatever that might be. For me, it's Christianity, right? Am I making that part of my vision, part of who I am, part of how I lead, right? You're the chief family officer. Are you leading at home? Because if you're in the woods in your business, if you're in the woods in your business and scratching through brush piles and just to find clarity, how is that impacting your family? Right? You need to slow down and think about that. Not just how do I get to that vision for my business, but how does that impact all the downlines of that, right? The families that are impacted, yours especially, right? Are you leading intentionally at home because you're mired in the garbage over here? Pull back and think about that. What about your fitness? Is your fitness suffering? Are you saying, you know what? I normally would work out at 5 a.m. But now I'm getting up at 4:30 just so I can put my pants on, go to the office, and do the same shit every single day just because I'm mired in the weeds. I don't have my vision, right? Are you focusing on your fitness? And I'm not just talking about, getting buff and in shape, for the pictures and everything. Are you physically exerting yourself, clearing the cobwebs out of your head, sweating, right? Creating that energy that you need to perform like you need to in the office to impact that vision. Are you doing it? Slow down, analyze that, and say, if I'm making excuses and not going to the gym just because I have this extra work to do, say, is that extra work in the weeds? I'm not saying sometimes you have to reschedule things, right? To make meetings or move the business forward. That does happen. But where's your consistency? Where's your discipline? Are you in the gym? Because I guarantee you, if you're in the gym at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whenever it is you go, you're going to perform better. You're going to lead better, not only at home, but in your business and yourself personally. It's going to help instill that discipline. And then, of course, if you take care of your faith, your family, your fitness, your finances are going to go up. They just are. They just are. So my message is just slow down, breathe, and reflect on those areas. How is my family? How is my faith? How is my fitness? How is my finance? And how are my actions day in and day out focused on that vision that impacts all of it? Right? So sometimes you have to recast the vision, right? We lose sight of that when we're mired in the weeds. We might lose sight of that vision. We might have to go back and recast it, look at it, say, what was the intention, the initial vision? Has that changed, adjusted, pivoted a little bit? Figure that out and recast it, not only to yourself, but to your team, to your family, so they know where you're going in all areas of your life, not just in your business, because that vision that you have is going to impact every piece of you, your faith, your fitness, your family, your finance. I don't care if you just cast a vision for your business. If you're just going 110 at that, and let's say you're successful, there's a good chance a lot of this other stuff is going to be lost along the way. So realign your vision, recast that vision. Unless we recalibrate oftentimes and intentionally recalibration, that vision can be lost. So it's very important. So, our businesses can stall, our relationships can stall. Just because we lose sight of that vision, we get mired in the weeds. So I know this is very relevant because I lived this in my life. When I was younger, it was all about that business vision, and I almost failed. And then I got better. I started looking at my fitness and my family and my faith, and I didn't do it all at once. I kind of probably went the wrong route. I was looking at my finances, number one. and that was it. Then fitness, right? And then my family, but not good enough. And my faith was almost non-existent. That's changed over the last 5 to 7 years. And I can tell you my fitness is better than it's been before. My family relationships are better than they've been before. My faith is stronger than it has ever been before. And you know what? My finance is better than it's ever been before. So if you're just focused on that business goal, that dollar value, that whatever you consider winning at business, maybe it's $1 million, 2 million, 3 million, maybe it's a private jet, maybe it's a Lamborghini. I don't know what it is. But if that's your only focus and that's the primary, it's going to be hard to have everything in order, right? You may win at business, but a lot of people have won at business. And when they look back on their life, they say, my family life sucked. My fitness sucked, right? My faith sucked. But I got money. But then they retire or sell their business, and then they're unhappy. They're some of the most unhappy people. I've seen it. I've done it. Don't do that. Learn the lesson. Slow down. Recast the vision. What is your purpose? Not only in your business, but your faith, your family, your fitness, and lastly, your finance. If you don't slow down voluntarily, I guarantee you life, some aspect in life will slow you down or cause you to say, man, I should have slowed down, because if I would have, I wouldn't have lost a lot of stuff, a lot of things that really are more important than that Ferrari, that private jet, that large bank account. So remember that. Hope this is a good lesson. Appreciate you guys. If you know anybody that needs to hear this, please share it. That's how we get the word out. I really want this to be used as an opportunity for, or a place where entrepreneurs can engage and learn some of the lessons and reflect on the lessons that they've already learned themselves. A lot of us that have been in business for a while, we know this, but we have to stop and reflect. And hopefully this is a reminder for you guys. And if you're new in business, just understand growth is going to happen. Stress is going to happen. You're going to feel like you're drifting at times. Sometimes you have to slow down to go faster. Remember that.